Tony from the Outsider channel, talking to you today, back for another video. Today I'm going to be talking about all of my little bonus secrets, the settings of the GoPro. If you're a mountain biker and you throw the GoPro on and you're always wondering like, how do I make it look like this or how do I do that? Today's the video you want to stick around for, because I'm going to show you what I use for a harness, the angle, the POV, the settings like I said, and all these little things that are going to have your camera and your relationship. Yep, you do have a relationship with the GoPro if you're wearing it on your rides. It's part of your journey. I'm gonna simplify everything and like a bunch of tips here. But first, I just have to acknowledge, like I'm talking to you right now in the middle of the fires, the Los Angeles fires. There's like 5 burning right now. There's like Eaton, Hearst, Palisades. Yeah, they're all over the place. And though I'm in Orange County, about 40 minutes south, I mean, if you look behind, you can't see it right now, but there's smoke all over. We're used to this kind of thing. Not this kind of level though. This is a whole new experience. It's taking over whole communities. My thoughts are with you guys if you're going through this. I mean, even just sitting down here, like there's brown ash buildup all over the porch. I had to like clear out the whole porch even before sitting down and making sure that Pip could hang out here because it's just covered. Our cars are covered in ash, and it's a different kind of ash. It's like this little granular brown sand, which is unique to the experiences I've had out here. We've had fires, usually there's like a gray kind of light dusting or something. This is pretty gnarly. And it's ongoing. I don't know when it's gonna be contained. So I do feel a little weird about making this video in the middle of this event, but you know, this is gonna be around for all to help you guys. So I'm gonna stick to it. We're gonna get a video done today and we're gonna get to the point of what I'm talking about right now. I'll be on the other side. All right, I'm gonna start off with the simplest one. I see a lot of you guys on the trails, you have the GoPro going and you're using the GoPro record option and GoPro stop recording. Don't do it. It's a nightmare. It never works properly. And if you're in a group ride or around other people that are doing it, you guys are gonna be yelling, GoPro turn on, GoPro turn on. You're gonna be turning each other's GoPros on and off. It's just ridiculous. And half the time it doesn't work. What I've always done, and this is still tried and true, is I use Quick Capture, which is a feature that saves your battery and only records when you want it to for that specific time. Quick Capture, you hit the button, when you're ready to record, it's on, you're filming your stuff, and then when you're done with the trailer or you wanna take a break, hit it, it's off, shuts the camera off. So it's an immediate turn on and off, no batteries in between, you're not running the camera when you're not filming because that really drains the battery super quick. If you use this method, you should be able to use just one battery for the entire ride for like a 2-hour ride. You should be good. All right, I'm gonna stick this other one as a little bonus to this one because it's a little side tip. When I first started using the GoPro, I had constant SD errors, constant. And they kind of stayed for a couple of years. I couldn't figure it out. I would just have to like hope for the best every time until I figured out what I could do to prevent this. And this is what you should do. After every single ride you do, when you pull the SD card out and you're downloading the footage, blah, 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 that whole system is done. When you put the SD card back into the camera, turn the camera back on and go over to preferences and then skip down to format SD card. You're gonna completely revamp the SD card from the beginning, getting rid of all that footage and resetting it so it's like a brand new SD card every single time. So always format your SD card. All right, let's keep going. Mounting. There's 2 options you can do. I prefer the chest harness as opposed to the full face with the camera on the bottom. I just like the view better. I just like the way the bars show up in the chest harness over the GoPro on the face, because on the face you're kind of above it a little bit. Let me just start off with the basics. What you want to do is get the Stuntman Chesty. That's my favorite harness to use. I've been using it for years, and there's a couple of reasons why I love this one. The first reason is it's got a plastic plate that's, I think amiable is the word, like it bends a little bit, but it's got a solid plate that stretches across your chest as opposed to like the one GoPro makes where it's just cloth the whole way through. It adds shape. So the Stuntman Chesty makes the camera stay a little bit more stable. The other reason I like this Stuntman Chesty is there's been numerous times where I've crashed and fell on my chest. Saved me a little bit. What the Stuntman Chesty also does, because it has the plate, is it's almost like a little safety barrier where the plate's gonna press in on your chest instead of like a hard camera object. The other thing that we wanna pay attention to, angle. First things first, right now it's upside down. If you film upside down, you're gonna get a lower frame. So you're gonna be a little bit more in the bike, which is what you want. So what I do is I put it upside down and I angle it just like a 45-degree angle, just like that. And that's what I use for my harness. All right, on to the next one. Not so fast, I've got one more for you with the harness. The harness, when you have it on over your shirt, it kind of feels like a bra. You know, it kind of like pulls your boobs in, puffs up your chest a little bit, and it's weird. Women don't wear bras on the outside of their shirts, so why do I want to? What I've done, if you're willing to sacrifice a jersey or two, my favorite thing to do is on the trail, I cut a little hole in the jersey, the GoPro mount pops out, and voila. Bras on the inside, where I like to keep them. You could say you're wasting a jersey, but you're not really wasting it if you're actually gonna be using it. And I film all the time, so I'm always using the two jerseys that I have. Now we're really gonna move on. It's the settings. The settings.
The blessing.
I get this question the most out of any question when it comes to filming mountain bike riding. So I'm just gonna, right off the bat, before I get into it, I'm just gonna put it on the screen right now. These are the settings that I use on my current GoPro. Take a screenshot, take a photo, pause it, whatever you have to do. I'm so confident in these settings that they're gonna work for you because I've been using them for years, and I know 90% of the other mountain bike channels that are out there are probably using these exact settings or something very similar, depending on what part of the world you're in. For Southern California, these are fantastic. I use these in all conditions. One of the noteworthy pieces about these settings I'll touch on is the 24 frames per second. I love when I'm filming because it adds more of a cinematic effect when you're going down the trails. It's just, to me, it looks a little bit better. You can use 30 if you want. 30 is cool, I like that for like vlogging when I'm doing shots of my face or if I'm talking a little bit more. You can use 60 FPS. I don't really like that. One reason is because it takes up too much of your SD card. You're just gonna be filling that thing in no time. And I think it's unnecessary. One of the few times I'll ever use that high of an FPS is when I wanna get like a slow-mo shot. If you wanna shoot a jump or if you wanna get something in slow-mo, that 60 FPS is gonna be perfect. 24 FPS for slow-mo, not gonna work. It's just gonna be too like rigid, like bah, 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 because there's not as much frames per second, obviously. Another thing too, the point of view, the POV. I use Super View. I really love that look on the trails. It opens up the lens a little bit. You get both sides of the trails. It adds a little bit of effect so you can feel the speed. Now I will say this, I usually go out if I'm gonna do a video and I know I'm gonna be stopping and talking, I'm usually gonna go out with another GoPro. Maybe not this long of a tripod, but something similar to this, maybe shorter. I have a couple of them. Also, this comes in handy, this style. If you want to put something on the trail, if you want to video something on the trail, you can use these to wrap around a tree, a branch, a bush, place it on something that is somewhat sturdy, or just put it on the ground as a tripod. High or low, you can bend these things to whatever way you want to. Getting back to the reason I brought this up is because on the second camera, when I'm talking to it, I don't use Super View. Don't use the wide angle lenses for that. It's gonna distort your face. You're gonna look like spread out, fish-eyed out. It's just gonna be a weird look. You don't need it. When you're filming yourself non-POV style, when you have it on the trail, no Super View, you don't need it. It's too far away, it's too wide. Only use Super View when you're filming POV on your bike. There's a setting called linear on here that I like to use. It's probably like the one you're looking at right now. It's not wide angle and it's perfect for vlogging, talking to the camera and filming shots of you out on the trail. Another piece of the settings is very important is the coloring. You have two options, flat or GoPro color, where they automatically in the camera color grade it for you. They make it bright, they add their colors to it, and they do the best they can with what the surroundings have to offer, with what the light has to offer, all those things. If you are not planning to mess with the color grading or do anything in editing post after the ride and just want to show your friends, post on social media, put the GoPro tune on, no problem. It's not gonna look terrible. You're just gonna not have as much customization as layering it as flat. I flatten out my coloring so I can go back and put my own color grade to it. I can bring it to life. You have much more options when it comes to customizing the color afterward when you use flat, because it just kind of blankets, washes out the coloring a little bit so you can have more room to add in what you really like. All right, on to one of the other ones that I think that people don't pay attention to, but to me, it's one of the most important aspects of putting a video together or me filming on the trails. You guys will notice that in my rides, I talk a lot when I ride. I want to be able to showcase the sounds of the trail, the sounds of the bike, with me talking at the same time. I don't want one to carry over the other, you know, I want them to balance out. And the only way that you can do this is turn off the wind. Do wind off. GoPro has this little thing that it wants to do its wind filtering for you. It does not work. It's gonna sound muffled and it's gonna wash out your audio. It's very terrible. What I suggest doing, add dead cats. I don't know why they're called dead cats. They're little fuzzy little dead cats, I guess, on your camera. This is the way to go. This is the way to drown out that wind noise, that like, that's gonna take over the audio on your GoPros, no matter what you do if you're going on trail. You can't escape it, it's gonna be there. The faster you go, the worse it gets. The windier it is, the worse it gets. Like a lot of microphones, the best way to explain it is that the microphones are always coated in that spongy material. This is basically what that is. I think there's 2 microphone spots that you have to cover. I'm gonna leave a link below to the dead cats where I get them on Amazon. Super cheap, they come in like a package. And you just put that on there, take some scissors, give it a nice little haircut, and you do the same with the other one. Wind off, dead cats on. Okay. All right, last one's a bit of a bonus. Really easy one. Don't leave the battery in the GoPro overnight. I always take the GoPro and just kind of leave it on the counter with the battery sticking out. That way I won't forget the battery and I can put it in right before the ride. The reason I do this is because if you put the battery into the GoPro and you snap it closed and it's in there, if you don't use the GoPro for a few days or a week or something like that, for some reason it drains the battery. So you're gonna go on a ride and the battery's gonna be at like 30–40%. Overnight, it's not gonna go down that much, but it's gonna go down enough where if you're going on a long ride, you're gonna need that extra power. So battery's out until the ride. All right, with that, you guys, I'm gonna take off. Any questions you have that I didn't cover, please leave them below. I answer every single comment. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next week.